one, 25-23 to W&J, just about ready for set 2. And a pretty competitive opening set.
I thought both teams did a lot of things well. There weren't really any glaring errors that I could see from either team except for the service errors to start. But I think they have so much fight in them. They're getting the kills off, and there's really some extended plays. So nothing really, glaring that pops out at me that either team is doing wrong.
W&J serves to start. Mabel Culp blocked by the right side of W&J, but play continues. Bishwati, big swing. Mabel Culp with a carry and gives W&J an early 1-0 lead.
I don't know if they called that carry there on Culp or Balo, and it just took them a little bit to blow the whistle, because when she went down for that one, it was only one hand, and sometimes it's difficult with one hand. You have to get your fist closed, so it could be, I couldn't tell from here it was on the opposite side if she had her fist closed or not, so not exactly sure which one of them got that call.
Siley sends it over. Left side, Freeman finds the back row in play, just inside, tucked inside that back end line. 2-0 W&J. Michaela Sclaris serves. Mabel Culp with the point for Waynesburg.
That's almost what you need to do if you're Waynesburg in the early goings. That's what they had success with in the early part of set 1. Culp had a few tips. I think DeRazio had one and Siley had one. There's a couple little tips to catch W&J off guard, because I think they're expecting Waynesburg to come with their power hitters.
And they're trying to lay off, but too tempted. Morgan Neubauer fingertips, touches that ball, then glances off of her and out of bounds.
You could see by her face she knew she shouldn't have touched that one. It was like too late when she tried to put her arms back down.
DeRazio sets from the back row. Siley with the swing. Tori Clark trying to go cross court, but out of bounds, far sideline. Natalie Rinaldo serves. Dug out of the back row by Stadina. And Bishwati brings the hammer and makes it 4-2. We had some streaming issues in the opening set. Looks like we have all that situated now in between sets. So again, our apologies through set 1, but we are looking good here in set 2 on the PAC Sports Network. Waynesburg and W&J. W&J winning set 1 25-23. And the Presidents opening up a 5-2 lead. And Bishwati serves. We were talking about Bishwati in that first set, but one that Coach Brooke Turner of the Presidents said will be a staple for the W&J program for years to come, and she has displayed some of that with rocket swings this evening, delivering kills time and time again. And a violation on W&J gives Waynesburg the point, now 5-3.
You're talking about Bishwati. She just doesn't have the power. She has smart placement. There were a couple times where she managed to place the ball right in between DeRazio and Balo a couple times this set where they just looked at it and it didn't go out, it dropped right behind them. So her placement, and I think that she can hit it between them in the back row. Not only is she aware of where she's putting it, but she's also aware of how much pace she needs to put on the ball so it drops right behind where the back row is.
DeRazio with a service error has been a trouble spot for her tonight. Typically her strong suit, but this evening a bit off. There's a kill there for W&J's Samantha Chorty. Presidents opening up a 4-point lead. Lofting one over the net with the serve, Lindsay Bennett. And there's Sile again for Waynesburg. So we've talked about Bishwati. Amanda Sile has come through also repeatedly this evening for Waynesburg.
She's such a versatile player too. You talked about her with the digs in the back row, and she's up there on the blocks in the front, and that kill wasn't easy. She was coming from way on the back row. I almost thought with that one she was going to try a tip or something, or it wasn't going to be as hard as it was, but that's just a credit to her how she's able to adjust her swing.
Served by Sam Steich for Waynesburg, and there is Chorty with another kill for W&J.
W&J needs to keep setting their girls in the middle. Every time they set them in the middle, it seems they're able to just put it right down, and Waynesburg doesn't have an answer for them in the middle. When they're setting to the outside, Waynesburg is usually getting their blockers there, or their back row is able to get them, but not so much with the middles.
Good dig by DeRazio. Rinaldo lofts it over. Chorty tries to hammer it down and will get the point. Ultimately, double tap on DeRazio. DeRazio, when we saw her earlier this season at Chatham, she was our Foster's Law Office's player of the game. Numerous digs and aces in that affair. There's a dig by Balo. Rinaldo sets to Sile, but a little bit off the mark. Sile tried to do her best with that one, but played it beyond the antenna, out of bounds.
But talking about DeRazio, not only, is she there in that game, and even now with the digs and service aces when we saw him against Chatham, but she's really where she needs to be. If you watch her, she moves around a lot. She's behind the blocks. She's just very aware of where she needs to be to help her team.
We'll take a quick break with the timeout here at the Henry Memorial Center on the PAC Sports Network.
Bankruptcy myths busted.
I heard you lose everything you own when you file bankruptcy.
The whole point of bankruptcy is to get a fresh start, and that's only possible if you have something to start with. In over 95% of bankruptcy cases, individuals keep everything they own, including their home, car, pension, and household goods.
Myth busted. Bankruptcy myths busted. Brought to you by Foster Law Offices. Call today to schedule a free consultation and sleep better tonight.
Back on the PAC Sports Network, 10-5, W&J leading the second set. Presidents winning set one, 25-23 in a tight one. And the President, Sarah Stadina, serves. Rinaldo set left side for Sile it over. Store to Chorty for the big kill. And in this second set, stepping up big, senior Samantha Chorty. It has to be a great pleasure for Brooke Turner, the President's head coach, to bring the depth off the bench, and Samantha Chorty has a good mix of seniors and freshmen on this team, and Chorty obviously one of those senior leaders.
Unofficially, I have her so far with 3 kills just this set, but when you look at her and the way she moves, she's so much more effective than that. She's had more attempts that Waynesburg's been able to dig out, and she's in there on the blocks.
Serving for Waynesburg, Tori Kramer, after the double tap call on W&J just prior. There's Chorty again, right on cue for the kill.
You have to keep setting your player that's hot. If she's having success getting it through, just keep going it to her until they stop.
Now she's going to check out for the time being as Allison Means will enter to serve. DeRazio digs. And a carry called on Rachel Lang, 5'6" freshman from Baldwin. Serve for Means, Balo, nice low dig. And Lang out of bounds with that swing to the near sideline. W&J opening up their lead. First set, a tight one. Presidents in set 2 leading by 8. Sile tries to answer for Waynesburg. Nice dig in the back row by Means. DeRazio. Call on her, and it's now 15-6 W&J.
I think the difference now with W&J is just that their coverage of the floor is better. Waynesburg starting to look a little bit out of system, not covering as well as they could, just hitting some balls out of bounds, things like that. But W&J is keeping in system. They're covering their blocks, and their back row coverage is good. They're really not letting anything fall.
So an early scare for W&J in set 1, but finding a groove here in set 2. 10-point lead for W&J. Nice dig again by Balo. I've said that numerous times tonight. She has been terrific from the back row for the Yellow Jackets. Nice block in the middle by Lang. Freeman plays it over. Rinaldo to Sile. The tip looking for the back left quarter. Nice dig by Means. Played over by McMullen. Balo digs. Rinaldo again goes left side for Sile. Dug out by Stadina. Nice volley. Bishwati. DeRazio the dig. And DeRazio, nice play to keep it alive. And trying a mid-air adjustment, miscommunication between Storr and McMullen. And it's a point for Waynesburg.
There have been a couple of really, really well played out points these last 2 sets, just where neither team is giving up. And I don't know how the heck DeRazio kept that in bounds from over there in the corner.
And to go a long way with that one on the 3rd hit.
She was at a weird angle, too.
Service error on Waynesburg, that Morgan Sashini. Yeah, tough angle and yeah, a long way to go with it, and DeRazio made it happen. Resiliency shown by her as well, because she struggled a little bit in areas where she typically it's her strong suit, serves in particular, but nonetheless resilient, doesn't let that rattle her, and has done well in following up. Is Culp with a kill for Waynesburg. Now it's Amanda Sile serving. Sile with 15 aces coming into tonight's action. There's a kill for Lindsay Bennett.
I think that ball hit Steich in the head. I'm not really sure, but I think the angle she was and how low she was, I think it bounced off the top of her head. Not really easy to get that one.
10-point lead for W&J in this second set. There's Steich blocked by the W&J right side. It's Bennett and Bishwati. We mentioned earlier, Bennett in the top 25 of the nation in blocks, leads the conference in blocks. Comes up with another there, block assist, she and Bishwati. Tip by Culp, nicely done. Mabel Culp. 19-9 our score here from the Henry Memorial Center.
The blocking for W&J, though, that you just mentioned, with the exception of that last point, they look like they were off timing. They're very well timed in their movements. If you watch some of these points that if they get extended out longer, the way they go with their progressions, they're there all the time. They might not get a piece of it, but the timing is there.
Played out of bounds by Rinaldo. Talking about the blocks, W&J also leads the conference collectively in blocks. So stout at the net. Serving Bishwati with an 11-point lead, an ace for Bishwati. Sile'd like to have that one back. You can see from her facial expression, wanted to go after it, then had a second thought. Turns out it's an ace. Bishwati with a leaping right-handed serve. At Steich, hovers over. Played right back by the president. Steich lofts it to the back row. Bishwati the dig. Now it's Chorney the kill. Her 4th kill in this set, if my memory serves me correct.
I believe you are correct. I have her unofficially for 6 overall, so she's having quite a solid night thus far.
Bishwati again. DeRazio, last second attempt, keeps it going, and Steich plays it across.
They're not taking any chances in the back row anymore.
Kill by Lindsay Bennett. Bennett out of Brentwood High School, the junior middle hitter. And the Presidents running away with set 2, 23-9, and 2 points away from closing it out. DeRazio the dig. Sile over to Steich and across. Bishwati digs. Sclaris Over to Hilzendegger and over. Steich from a tough angle. Was not put in a primary spot by any means there. Did her best midair to play it over, could not.
Not much she could do. It was a little bit behind her. She wasn't facing the right way. Tried her best.
Bishwadi, this time a service error. President still with a healthy 14-point lead. DeRazio off the serve, and there is Bennett, who drops the hammer, and W&J makes it 25-10 with the win in set 2. So 25-23 winners in set 1, now 25-10 in set 2. W&J with a 2-0 match lead. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Maiden Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
For 3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA.
Bankruptcy myths busted.
I heard you lose everything you own when you file bankruptcy.
The whole point of bankruptcy is to get a fresh start, and that's only possible if you have something to start with. In over 95% of bankruptcy cases, individuals keep everything they own, including their home, car, pension, and household goods.
Myth busted. Bankruptcy myths busted. Brought to you by Foster Law Offices. Call today to schedule a free consultation and sleep better tonight.
For 3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA.
Welcome back to W&J. The Presidents with a 2-0 match lead. Set 1 winners 25-23 and set 2 25-10. And Waynesburg really going toe-to-toe with W&J in the first set. Set 2, a bit of a breeze for the Presidents with a 15-point victory. And we'll see what set 3 will bring. But W&J settling into the contest at this point after having, as we mentioned, a rough time with Waynesburg in that first set.
I think what hurt Waynesburg in that second set was a combination of things. It looked like the first set they came out absolutely attacking. They knew they needed to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. They came out absolutely attacking. They kept W&J on their toes the whole time. And then the second set, it's almost like they fell flat. And that could be a combination due to some errors. I don't know. I think W&J got most of their points that set off of Waynesburg errors. Just things like double taps, too many hits, the blockings weren't there, letting a couple balls go out of bounds that should have been playable on serve. Just things like that. So I think they hurt themselves more than they helped themselves.
W&J's head coach Brooke Turner talking about the keys for her team, and she said that keeping focus would be a key, and really last week they took Geneva to 5 sets, who's one of the top teams in the conference. And so if they can continue to play, as there's a service error to start on DeRazio, and it's been a rough night for her from that end this evening. W&J with a 1-0 lead. But Coach Brooke Turner talking about that Geneva game, serving as an example of what her team can do when they are focused in, and perhaps maybe not as much in set 1, but certainly in set 2 they were, as there's a block by Bennett, add to her top 25 tally in the nation.
W&J certainly, they really do look focused, like you said. I mean, that second set, they were almost running like a machine. They were getting their kills there. Not a whole lot of balls that they had to, play crazy out of bounds, from out of bounds, things like that. So if that continues for them, I think they should be in good shape.
Bennett and Hilzendegger with the block assist. 3-0 presidents, so the blocking of W&J comes through again. Bishwati sets to Hilzendegger. Dig by DeRazio. Now it's Siley off the right side block. But kept alive by W&J. Miss hit by Hilzendegger. And it's now 3-1. Waynesburg on the board.
She tried to make the best of what appeared to be a lower set there, and because she was so far back, she ended up hitting it down into the net, because you can't really hit it up with an open hand on a kill attempt.
Good low serve by Siley. Bishwati with the kill off the left side block of Mabel Culp. It drops into the open middle of Waynesburg. Nicole Bishwati will serve. Earlier in the season, PAC Player of the Week. Bishwati with the dig off the Waynesburg reply. Now it's Chorty. Add to her kill tally. Bishwati from Allentown, PA, and Parkland High School. 5th in the conference in aces with 28. Entering tonight's action, has at least one tonight, but a service error that time around.
Service errors seen far too much by both teams tonight. For as much as they're doing well, that's one thing that's hurt both teams.
Hilzendegger aiming for the back right quarter and finds it. Well placed. Checking out, Michaela Sclaris is entering Darby McMullen. Skinner with the dig for Waynesburg. Culp gets it across off over the left side block. Now Chorney is blocked by Culp. Well, W&J so strong with their front line. This time it's Mabel Culp with the denial, and she will serve.
That was bound to come sooner or later for Waynesburg. I mean, the blocking has been there. They've been a little off time a couple times, perhaps, W&J hitting over top of them sometimes. They've been there, so it was one of those was bound to happen sooner or later.
Culp with an ace. And it's just a 2-point game after W&J rolled off a quick 4-0 lead. There's a kill for McMullen. And W&J opens their lead back up to 3. Sarah Stadina serves. Back set by Storr. And the point to W&J off of Skinner in the left side block of the Yellow Jackets. Give the point to Taylor Freeman. Stadina serves it up again with the right-handed swing. Back set Rinaldo. Nice rally by W&J to keep it alive. Chorney sent it across, and Rachel Lang with the point for Waynesburg.
Lang, the first time she came in the second set, had a little bit of trouble. She had a couple of blocks she missed, not able to get her kills inbounds, but now with that, it looks like she's made the adjustments necessary, hopefully.
Punch Pushed across by W&J, and not the way you draw it up, but Freeman able to tuck it inside the near sideline for the point.
She punched that ball over too. She didn't hit it. It was like she made a fist and just punched it over the net.
Some impromptu work.
It was a resourceful play for sure.
Now in to serve is Allison Means from Connellsville and Connellsville Area High School. Siley gets the kill for Waynesburg. Three-point lead for W&J, but Waynesburg looking more like they did in the first set, hanging tough with W&J. Bishwati plays it over. Ronaldo into the middle for Lang. Now it's Freeman in the kill. Checking back in, it's Sclaris.
Taylor Freeman doing a lot of things right now for W&J. We're calling her name a lot. She had that great save from the outside with the punch, a couple kills in there. She's being very effective on that front line when she's in.
Ronaldo to Siley, finds the back end line just inside of it, and Waynesburg with the point. Now tough to get it over the W&J block and find that kind of accuracy, but Siley able to do so there. Serve to Razio, and service error too strong, and she's been long into the net. Either way, service errors tonight.
I think she's struggling to find how much power to put on it, because the first time she had an error, she hit it too far out of bounds. So then she took some off of it and she was fine for a couple serves, then she hits it into the net. And then the last time she had an error, she hit it into the net again, so now she's trying to get more power on it. I really think she's struggling to find how much power she needs tonight.
Overcompensation on one end or the other. Mabel Culp with the point moments ago for Waynesburg, and DeRazio with 16 service aces this season entering tonight's play, and the team leader for Waynesburg, but tonight has struggled in that department. Played over by Hilzendegger for W&J. Ronaldo to Skinner. And clips the top of the fingertips of Bennett and into the open middle. Point for Waynesburg. Waynesburg drops this one tonight. They would be eliminated from playoff contention. A win for W&J would put them a game behind the Grove City Wolverines. Double tap on the Presidents, and it's a one-point set.
Waynesburg looking much more like they did in the first set, and I don't know what happened with them in that second set, but they're back here now. They have to win this, or playoffs are out of reach.
Siley with an ace, and it's even in set 3. And that will prompt Brooke Turner to call a timeout. We'll take one as well. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
Bankruptcy myths busted.
I heard you lose everything you own when you file bankruptcy.
The whole point of bankruptcy is to get a fresh start, and that's only possible if you have something to start with. In over 95% of bankruptcy cases, individuals keep everything they own, including their home, car, pension, and household goods.
Myth busted. Bankruptcy myths busted. Brought to you by Foster Law Offices. Call today to schedule a free consultation and sleep better tonight.
Square in set 3, Waynesburg and W&J. And the Yellow Jackets looking more so like they did in that opening set, dropping that first set by just 2, 25-23. Served by Siley. Blocked by Skinner and Culp. W&J keeps it going. Big swing by Hilzendegger. DeRazio plays it over. Means with the dig. Bishwati the kill. Now, when you need a big point, W&J turns to Nicole Bishwati, and she comes through.
They're liking to aim at that near side back corner on Waynesburg's side. That's, I think, 2 or 3 this set that have dropped back there.
Bishwati serves, DeRazio digs. Rinaldo back set to Culp. Gets it over the W&J block. Sclaris sets to Chorney. Nice dig by Skinner, and DeRazio plays it over. Good rally there by Waynesburg, block in the middle by Culp. Hilzendegger to the left corner. Dug out by Waynesburg. Skinner tips it to the back left corner. Well placed with the push, and we're even again. Some good rallies here in this third set as well.
Culp is really coming alive too for Waynesburg. I mean, she's been there both sets, but in this third set, her blocking is just on point right now.
And an ace for Rinaldo. Waynesburg with a 1-point lead. First time they've had a lead in a set since set 1. High lobbed over serve, high arcing serve by Rinaldo. But the point for Chorney and the Presidents. Lindsay Bennett, who has contributed numerous blocks tonight and kills for that matter, will now try with the right-handed serve. Dig by DeRazio, Culp to Sile and over. Bishwati looks to Chorney and the point. Just beyond the reaching arm of Sile and just inside that end line.
Seems like for W&J, Bishwati and Chorney go back and forth. They'll set Bishwati for a couple points and she'll have some, and then they'll set Chorney for a couple.
Mabel Culp replies to tie it up in set 3. Mabel Culp now serves from Clarksville, PA, and Jefferson Morgan High School, not all that far away from Waynesburg University. Culp digs, offs it back over the net. Storr sets to McMullen for the kill. Go ahead, Kat.
Smart move there. At this point, Waynesburg, they have their block set up there. They're expecting W&J to come with all that power, and the back line was backed off a little bit, just waiting for it. Smart move to try and attempt the tip to keep them on their toes and catch them off guard like they did there.
Rally over, Chorney gets it across. Rinaldo to Lang, punched over by Chorney. Too strong on the swing by Tori Kramer.
W&J getting some help from the basketball hoop there too. I think it bounced off there once.
House rules here at the Henry Memorial Center. 2-point lead and ace. Now a 3-point lead and a timeout for the Yellow Jackets. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
For 3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve Southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA.
Three-point lead for W&J to start to continue this third set, and to start things out of the timeout. Serving is Sarah Stadina. Back set Rinaldo to Kramer. Chorney, too strong on that effort, laid off by DeRazio, and wisely so. Courtney Skinner into serve from Apollo Ridge High School. Chorney into the left corner on a laser, but played well on the dig by Rinaldo. McMullen over. Skinner trying to set up and aim it toward DeRazio, but she carries it. Back to a 3-point lead for the Presidents.
She had an awkward angle too to try and get that one over to DeRazio. Her It looked like her one hand just didn't get turned around in time with the other one, the way her body was angled.
Allison Means into the back row. Dig by DeRazio. Sile. Big swing. Nice rolling dig by Stadina. Rachel Lang comes through for Waynesburg. Two-point contest in this second set. Kramer serves, and W&J unable to reply. Now down to a 1-point deficit for Waynesburg. Yellow Jackets hanging tough. Lost by 2 in the first set. W&J breezed in set 2, 25-10. It's a tight one again in the third set. Bishwati tips to the back row. Balo there for the dig. Ronaldo goes to Sile, and the kill. 18 all.
This is probably Waynesburg's best set of the 3. They have their fight back. They're distributing it well. The blocking is there, and their back line isn't making the mistakes that they did last time of just letting serves go through.
And W&J calls a timeout. We'll take one as well. Even score, set 3 on the PAC Sports Network.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Maiden Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
All tied up in set 3. Kramer serves. And the kill for Freeman. Taylor Freeman, the freshman from Penn Cambria High School. We talked about Chorney, Bennett, and Bishwati. Freeman is, and you noted it, has had her name called quite a bit as well, the freshman. Good blend of youngsters and seniors with this W&J group, and certainly Freeman, one of those youngsters, the freshman.
Give credit to their setters, too, for W&J. They run the 2 setters off and on, but, I mean, they're distributing it well. They're just going to different girls, trying to mix it up, seeing who's hot.
Sile plays it over. And the duo of setters, Sclaris and Storr for W&J. Miscommunication there between Bennett and Stadina, and the Yellow Jackets tied up again. Now it's DeRazio to serve. We mentioned her struggles tonight. See how she does here. Gets it in play. Dig by Bishwati. And the tip into the net by Bennett. Self-inflicted wound there has Waynesburg up by 1. DeRazio, service aired, long on the serve.
Just such a hard night for her back there. She just I can't seem to find her rhythm. It's not taking away from it, but it's, you know, it's hard. It's sad to see her struggle when she's doing so well with the back line, keeping everything in play.
Yeah, you feel for a player like her right now. That's for sure. The W&J. They're not going to feel for her too much. They want this win, but they play it out of bounds near sideline. Waynesburg back ahead by 1. Presidents, with a win tonight, can come to within 1 game of 6th place Grove City. And 6th place is important because that's the bottom line, the fringe of who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. Adjustment with the tip there by Bennett, kept alive by Culp and Ronaldo. Hilzendegger across. DeRazio digs, backs at Ronaldo to Culp. Stadina, and now Bishwati plays it over. Ronaldo will go left side to Skinner to the back left corner. Nice diving dig by Means. Terrific play by Means. And Ronaldo with the dump, still alive. No. Ronaldo gets the dump for Waynesburg. Terrific play on both ends, but ultimately the point to the Yellow Jackets.
Oh my gosh, I know that point went to Waynesburg, but W&J, I have to give them so much credit there. They chased it the whole way out of bounds on the near side, on their side, and brought it back in. That was just the coverage they had on the court on that point was amazing.
Allison Means covering every floorboard. Bishwati able to get it in play for the point. And it's a 1-point contest once more. 22-21. Bishwati will serve for the Presidents. Leaping right-handed serve. Line drive. Dug out by DeRazio. Ronaldo to Skinner. Tough angle. Plays it across, but out of bounds. And we're even. 22-22. And Waynesburg wants a timeout. We'll take one as well on the PAC Sports Network.
For 3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA.
Even score in the third set, late in the third set, which is brought to you by Triple, Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living. And Triple headquartered here in Washington, Pennsylvania, actually not all that far from the Henry Memorial Center. And one of our proud sponsors of our fall broadcast on the PAC Sports Network. Glad to have them along and certainly support them as much as they support us for what we do. And there's a point for Ronaldo and the Yellow Jackets. They take a 1-point lead, 23-22. Waynesburg showing some good fight, and I tell you what, for a team that's 1-13 in PAC play, if you're Coach Benkowski, you have to love what you're seeing right now.
That's what we said earlier. Their record is deceptive. They do a lot of things well. They've been able to take some sets from some really good teams. You mentioned Thomas More earlier. That one comes to mind. But, I mean, they do a lot of things well. It's just for whatever reason in that second set they had that lapse, and you have to wonder if that's what happens to them against some of these other teams if you look at the set scores that they've been having.
After a hit out of bounds by Waynesburg, it's Lindsey Bennett serving. Siley digs, Ronaldo to Culp, tips it across. Bishwati goes left side to Chorty, and Samantha Chorty, the senior, with a clutch point, and now the Presidents 1 point away from the sweep. Waynesburg's shown good heart in this third set. The W&J again 1 point away from the sweep. Bennett serves. Siley recovers, and Skinner plays it over. Stadina, Bishwati, Hilzendegger with the finisher, and that'll do it. The W&J Presidents with the 3-0 win. They take set 3 by the same score that they won set 1, 25-23. We'll take a break. When we come back, stay tuned. We still have yet to hand out our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game, and we have some discussion for this one. So 3-0 winners, W&J over the Yellow Jackets. We'll return in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Main Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Main Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
W&J with a 3-0 win over the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets tonight, as we talked about, for a team 1-13 in PAC play. Now 1-14 with the loss. Waynesburg officially eliminated from playoff contention as a result of the defeat. But we'll start with Waynesburg, and we'll talk a little bit more about W&J and segue to our Foster Law Office's player of the game. But Waynesburg, a lot of heart displayed tonight despite the loss.
You have to give them credit, because that second set, there's no doubt about it. W&J just overpowered them. Waynesburg was making a lot of errors, but in that third set they really came back and rallied, and they had a lot more fight in them, just like the set one. And I think that third set was without a doubt their best one. And I mean, you look at their front line. Amanda Sile, she was their leader unofficially here, what I have, with 10 kills. Mabel Culp was up there as well. They were getting some blocks up there from Culp too. DeRazio and Balo were really holding down the back line nicely. I mean, they did a lot of things well, and I think the fact that second set score was so different doesn't really reflect how this match played out overall.
And for the W&J Presidents, they improved to 5-9 in PAC play, and as we talked about throughout, that's important because it pulls them to within one game now of 6th place Grove City. And Grove City will come here to the Henry Memorial Center this weekend, so W&J has a chance to directly catch up with Grove City for that 6th place spot with a win over the weekend. But in reference to tonight's contest, W&J all-around performances, certain players that stood out. Samantha Chorney off the bench had a terrific night. Lindsay Bennett, we talked about her ability to collect blocks at the net, and she displayed quite a bit of that this evening. Darby McMullen off the bench was solid. Taylor Freeman, as a freshman from the outside, was strong as well. And Nicole Bishwati, the sophomore, who Coach Brooke Turner had said is a staple of the program for years to come, as she's just a sophomore and a PAC honorable mention a year ago. So a lot of names mixed in there, but all contributing tonight for the W&J Presidents.
If you're Coach Turner, you have to be happy with what you have on the floor right now. I mean, obviously, again, I think they're a team that their record is not reflective of how much talent they have. They're a young talent. Even when their seniors are gone, they'll still have players to fill in there. So I think if you're her, you have to be happy that you have 3, 4, even 5 players that can come in on the front line and do a lot of things well with the blocking and getting hits. So they're very balanced up there, and that, you know, as a coach, you want to see that. You don't want to rely on just one player all the time.
And with that, our Foster Law Office's player of the game tonight for her all-around effort this evening. Produced some kills, some blocks, some aces. Nicole Bishwati, the sophomore, our Foster Law Office's player of the game.
I have her with 7 kills, and I probably missed 1 or 2 when we were having some of our technical difficulties trying to get everything ready. I know she had to have more than that, but I think what impressed me the most about her is her all-around play. She was up there obviously on kills, taking some really big swings. Waynesburg did block her a couple times on those big swings. She's there for blocks. She's even had some success in the back row with digs. I just think she's a really good all-around player. I know at least 1 ace tonight. Maybe she might have had 2, but she's just an all-around player, and her presence on the court is great. She's one of those players, like, when she walks onto the court, you can, you know, she's there. You can tell that she's ready to play.
Well, up next for both of these teams, Waynesburg will be at Thomas More on Saturday, a noontime affair in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. For W&J, Senior Day at noon on Saturday, hosting the Grove City Wolverines. So that'll be a big one here from the Henry Memorial Center. The records overall, W&J now at 13-9 overall, 5-9 in PAC play. The Presidents with yet another double-digit win season, which has been a trademark for Brooke Turner, as she rebuilt the West Liberty program, Division II program that had just 4 wins prior to her arrival, then back-to-back double-digit victories in 2010 and 2011. She's done the same with W&J, 10-win season last year, winning season to this point, 13-9 overall. And again, the President's hoping to somehow sneak in to the PAC tournament for women's volleyball. And the Presidents, again, have, as she described, when they keep their focus, and we've seen it. We've seen when they have had their focus in the laps as well tonight. Good example of both the good and bad of what the Presidents can do, but mostly the good, as the Presidents came away with the 3-0 sweep. And who knows, we'll see if they may be able to sneak in there come tournament time. Saturday
is, like, you can't say it enough. It's a really important game for W&J Grove City. Grove City's a good team. They have some good hitters up front. Their blocking is there also. W&J, they just really need to be on point. And that could be one of those games where if they win, that could be kind of one of their, almost like a statement win of the season. That's a point where you need to win it, and you want to know as a team that when you need to win the games, you can win them. They don't want to rely, okay, they lose that game to Grove City, let's see if Grove City or St. Vincent, who loses out the rest of the season, and who else we can beat to maybe get in there. You want to win those games as you need to keep giving yourself improved chances, so it doesn't come down to maybe the next to last or last game of the season. You don't want it to come down to that. You want to know.
And not to single out the Grove City game, but also next week, W&J hosting St. Vincent, in which could be another big game for both of those teams, or all of those teams involved for that matter. Grove City, W&J, and also St. Vincent later in the week, coming here to the Henry Memorial Center. But that does it here from Henry Memorial tonight for our crew this evening. Caitlin Edwards, our camera person, Justin Piles, our producer, Kat Guine, I'm Randy Gore. Glad you could be with us tonight. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, November 2nd, as we return to football action, as the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets will visit the Westminster Titans, and we'll be there for that one, a 1 p.m. kickoff on November 2nd, and we hope to have you along. So for our cast and crew here from Washington, Pennsylvania, I'm Randy Gore. We'll talk to you again on November 2nd on the PAC Sports Network.